Emma stood frozen in the dim hallway for a second longer than she should have, her breath caught somewhere between disbelief and rage. She had just seen the two of you, her fiance, Jungkook, and you in a moment she couldn't unsee, not only kissing but also fighting in a way that carried the weight of history. She didn't hear the rest of the world after that. The muffled sound of her heels clicking down the corridor felt like they belonged to someone else. By the time she reached her apartment, the moment replied in her head like a cruel loop. She shut the door behind her and leaned back against it and felt her chest tighten until it hurt. Her knees buckled and she slid down to the cold floor, burying her face in her hands. Tears came fast, hot, blinding, falling over her fingers as sobs shook her shoulders. He's mine. He's mine, she whispered to herself in a trembling voice, almost like a child talking to an invisible friend. He's my fiance. How could he? With her. She sat there for several minutes, letting the storm of emotions run wild until her thoughts shifted from pain to something sharper, desperation. She clenched her teeth so hard her jaw ached. She wiped her face roughly and reached for her phone, scrolling through her contacts. She stopped at one number. Her thumb hesitated for only a second before she pressed call. The line clicked and the familiar warm but sharp voice of her mother answered. Emma, it's late. Mom. Emma's voice cracked as she burst into loud broken sobs. I can't do this anymore. Her mother's tone shifted instantly, alarm lacing her words. What's going on? Why are you crying like this? Did something happen? Emma's hand trembled around the phone. It's her, again. She's here with Jungkook. She choked on the words, unable to hold back the wave of humiliation. I saw them kissing, and then arguing like they have always belonged to each other. There was a pause on the other end. Her mother's voice was dangerous but steady. Emma, listen to me. Remember what I told you that night at his birthday party? I saw her there and I knew this girl would be trouble. I told you she would try to come back into his life. Emma sniffled, her voice shaky. I thought maybe you were wrong. I thought maybe Jungkook moved on and that she didn't mean anything to him anymore. But mom, her voice cracked again. The way he looked at her, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't friendly. Her mother sighed, the kind of sigh that carried old grudges and unspoken plans. This is exactly why I said we should finish her back then. You wanted to play the saint, saying you didn't want to hurt anyone. And look where the kindness has gotten you. Emma's voice was weak but firm. 5 years ago, you promised me, Mom. You promised Jungkook would be mine, and he almost was. On her wedding day, you came to me. You told me you had spoken to her. You said you would make sure she wouldn't marry him. You told me she would leave. Her mother's voice turned sharp, and she did, didn't she? She ran away, like just like I said she would. Emma's throat tightened, remembering that day like a dark photograph. Because you threatened her, I know you did, and I was okay with it. Because back then she was the only thing between me and Jungkook. Her voice shook harder, but now she's back, and I can't bear to see her near him again. I can't breathe when she's in the same room. On the other side, her mother's tone stiffened but remained cold beneath. Emma, if you truly love Jungkook, you can't afford to sit and cry. You have to decide how far you are willing to go this time. Emma's tears slowed, but her desperation sharpened into something almost ruthless. Do anything, Mom. I mean it. I don't care what it takes. I don't care who gets hurt. I can't lose him to her, not again. Her mother hummed quietly, a sound that promised scheming. Alright, this time I will do something and I won't leave loose ends like before. Emma's breath steadied, though her heart was still racing. Promise me, Mom. Promise me you won't let her ruin this again. Her mother's voice was steady, certain. I promise. By the time I'm done, she won't even be a shadow in his life. There was silence between them for a moment, not peaceful but loaded with the weight of what had been said. Then her mother added, almost like a warning, but you must be ready for what comes next. Once we start this, there's no turning back. Emma closed her eyes, the image of you and Jungkook is still burning in her mind. I'm ready. I have been ready since the day she took him from me. Jungkook's aunt, good. Her mother's voice carried a smile Emma couldn't see. Then leave everything to me this time. No mercy, Emma, not for her. The call ended with a sharp click, and Emma stayed seated on the floor, clutching her phone like it was the only thing holding her together. She took a deep breath, wiping away the last of her tears. Though her eyes still burned somewhere deep in her chest, her grief had hardened into something dangerous. This time she told herself she wouldn't lose.